Alright everybody, so if you remember here in our last video, we went into the rapid metal movement technique and just dollied a ton of this out. Now there's a little bit, again, we're going to have to contend with. We're going to have to put that back in line at the end of the repair, and then right there was the deepest point. I mean, that's going to be the weak point throughout this entire repair, but that's no big deal. I mean, when you're doing repair work on the edge that's really crushed in, you kind of get used to using that weak point and pushing it out. But see, now you can see this one right here is straight. That's a little bit overlap there, and this one right here for sure went out so far that we're going to need to push it right back into that direction. But that will be something we'll get it lined up just a little bit right now. But I guarantee you we will be back at this at the very end, lining it up. But I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of shove it into place there. This is definitely some hands-on application there. Yep, you can see we need to get that all straightened up there at the top. All right, so right now we are going to straighten it up at the top. You can see what I have is a window wedge here, and I took a Sawzall and cut that in there. A friend of mine, Bryce Rockhill, actually came up with this genius idea. But you can see here I'm going to start off by pushing a little bit, going to kind of test the grounds on pushing. And yes, it is doing a little bit of work here, but then we're going to start prying a little bit. Nice, this is made out of plastic. You can actually get it right on that edge and kind of bend it right into shape. Starting to shape up real nice. I mean, of course, that's throughout this whole repair, we're going to be we're going to see that weak point moving, a little bit at a time, and we're going to have to rinse and repeat this. But right here at the beginning, this is something where we definitely want to get it straight as possible before we start going in and doing our push work. And, that's going to help out because if we're in there pushing and it starts to peak in that area or it starts to kink in that area, then we want the least amount possible. So we want to try to bend it close to original right off the bat to begin with. So there we go. Now I am going to be actually using this tool. It's called the Doodah. This was sent to me a gentleman named Barry from Ireland, and if you notice here, I actually have a soft tip on the end of this thing, and there's reasons why I want to use this, and the leverage on the bedside is just that. If you notice here, I'm able to slide it in here, and I'm kind of putting on a show here for you, but I'm just showing you how I'm going to be using this. So it's literally coming down in there, it's leveraging off the inside of the bed. I'm going to take it and put it to where I need and just pull up with it. So you can see here it's definitely moving some metal there. Nice soft tip pushes. Soft tip pushes on video, always look so aggressive. But, that's the point of a soft tip is it actually moves metal about the size of that tip. And when you do that, they're actually really easy to tap out. You move a lot of metal at one time. It's a nice technique to use when you need to get some metal going in the right direction. So you can see the Doodah is really doing the job as far as moving this sucker during the beginning stages when we're just trying to get that metal coast along. We're trying to move as much as possible at this point, and we'll definitely have to get into the finishing work. But here's another angle. I'm actually going to go in and be tapping down from this angle. And as you can see here, I'm kind of jumping right in with the sharper hammer knockdown. I don't really want to lose some of them really strong pushes that I got at the top, so I'm going to kind of be doing my soft tip knockdowns, or I'm going to be knocking down with my sharper tip on the soft tip pushes, so that way I won't lose all of that momentum. If I pushed it with a soft tip and then came in and hit it down with the soft tip, I'm just kind of pushing up and pushing down, pushing up and pushing down. And that's good in some situations where you're using the same size tip to tap down, the same size push. But in this situation, I want to still leave it nice and tight up there. So I'm using a smaller tip knockdown to tap down our soft tip pushes. There we go. Nice little scan over the area. You can see that our top is still kinking. Just like I said, it's one of them things where it's going to kink throughout the repair, but we know at the finishing procedure, we can take care of it just fine. Right there is another soft tip tool. You're familiar with that if you watch some of my videos. That's the Ultra 90 Bend tool. Excuse me. Very, very good soft tip tool here. Going to go ahead and go in there and just begin pushing right there on the bottom of the dent. And there you go. There you have it. Just kind of setting it down there like you would, leveraging off the top of that interior bedside and sending it right down there to the bottom. Again, making real nice, strong, soft tip pushes. Trying to create balance in this dent, and we definitely want to, if we got the top pushed up a little bit, we want to push the bottom up a little bit and just create balance from top to bottom before we start going into other techniques, before we start going into finishing techniques. But you can see there that the pushes are not too aggressive. They're just moving the metal, not poking it up. Now, going in with the soft tip knockdown, we're going to be doing a little bit of crown work as well, that back crown. Now, that is perfect for the soft tip knockdown because we don't want to chop it up into super small little hits with that sharper tip knockdown. This definitely gives us the real estate as far as the tip of the knockdown to move a lot more metal than that sharper one. So just going to lay that crown down. And it's amazing how when you're going through these repairs that little hidden crowns start to emerge. I mean, that crown prior to lifting up the center of the dent looked rather subtle. But when you lift up and you do some movement with the center of that dent, it will cause more metal to push in that direction and create a peak right there, which created a much more prominent crown than what we had originally. It's always nice, though, doing the crown work after you've had a little bit of the metal pushed in the right direction. It kind of gives it a little bit of pushback or resistance from one side, making it a little bit easier to begin and lay it down. So there we go. Going to jump in here and kind of open up our little low at the top. I mean, you're just doing that throughout these repairs. It's like you're making a nice strong push and then you're opening it up. Because when you make that push in the middle, it'll drag metal with it around it in the perimeter. So at this point, decided I definitely want to put a little touch up on our stressed area up there. Just keeping it together. If you've seen some of my other tutorials, that's kind of a way to glue the paint together on that edge. So when we're making pushes, it doesn't do that big flake. It flakes off. Now, as you can see, our reflection's a little bit distorted there, and it's got a little bit of a scuff on it. Going to get in there and buff it up so we can see a little bit better what we're doing. Looks kind of like a ghost face there at this point, if you can see the two eyes and the mouth there. It's funny how dents tend to take their own. Yeah, yep, that's for sure. Did the ghost. So now I'm actually using PDR Finesse. It's a bigger double bend tool, trying to get some leverage right there on that top edge, and it's working. I mean, that's kind of a little bit of a slippery area there. So there's our ghost again. What I'm going to be trying to do here is pinpoint, take out his eyes and take out his mouth down there. But, them are the lows and the bright around it are the highs. But I'm just trying to clean that up, and it's a little bit slippery in there with this tool. I'll tell you that. But it's what I've chosen to use at this point, and it is moving metal along quite well. You can definitely see our piece, our top up there underneath the Dent trainer watermark there. You can see where it just keeps buckling in and out, and you can kind of see why I put the touch-up paint on there. Good thing is, though, that's hidden underneath the taillight. So now again, just opening it up, and I am using the sharp tip here. Right at this top part is the fragile part of this whole repair. Do not want to tap it out with a soft tip. I don't want that much metal moving down. So I want to pinpoint my hits going downwards. And the only way to do that, to pinpoint your location, pinpoint your hits, is to use a sharper knockdown. Now I'm going a little bit further down through the repair, but there you have it. Still got a little ghost there, but little by little we will see that ghost disappear. Actually made a joke there. Now back to the rear crown, tapping that out, exchanging from the top to the crown there.